of states that have legalized sports betting is increasing and includes neighbors Iowa and South Dakota. Senator Karla Bigham has bipartisan support for a bill that would make the change in Minnesota. I spoke with her about the bill's chances. Since a 2018 Supreme Court ruling legalizing sports betting at the state level, it has become a reality in half the states, but not yet in Minnesota. You're sponsoring a bill that would make sports betting legal in Minnesota. Why?
Well, thank you for having me, Shannon. It's always fun to be on your program. Because quite honestly, it's time for Minnesota to legalize it. People are sick of going to Iowa. Now South Dakota has approved it, and they're in the process of getting all their programs ready. The market's demanding it. There is a widespread popularity for this. We just got done with the Super Bowl, and it's really something that people enjoy doing, and it's illegal, and it's flagrantly done. And quite honestly, we need to put some guardrails and consumer protections around the idea of sports betting and making sure that it has a good consumer experience. We want to. It's being done now in the black market, so let's shine some light on it, some transparency on it, and have a good consumer experience for people that would like to participate in sports wagering.
And just to fill people in, I know you enjoy sports betting. For people who don't really fully grasp what this is, what is it?
So you can bet on who wins a game or who is going to throw the first touchdown in a game. Like, for example, what's the first score going to be in the Super Bowl? Now, those that do the research know that for a lot of time it's a field goal. So people know that, and so then they go and say $20 says that the first scoring opportunity is a field goal in the Super Bowl. So it's an exciting experience for that, and so that's the legal side of it. But if you would go to Iowa, right, or any of the other 27 states and 2 territories that have it, now you can do that without the protections that legalized sports wagering have, where you go to a racetrack, where you go to a casino and place that wager. There are some people that do that just amongst friends and well, not even friends, just acquaintances sometimes. And so it's just, this is a better way to ensure there are protections in that experience.
Now, as I understand it, in the bill, initially for the first year, you would go to a casino and you would create an account and then you could place your bets there. But after the first year, it could be mobile, though still through a casino. And why that rationale?
So yeah, so right away, once this is approved and a license is authorized, any casino or racetrack, so the 2 racetracks we have here in Minnesota, would be able to allow on-site sports wagering. So you would go there, much like Vegas, you'd go in there into their sports booking room, or they would have kiosks, right? And you would go do your thing, or you'd go up to the counter. After a year, you would be able to, through the casino only, go and place, you'd set up your account, add your money to your account, and then you'd be able to wager from anywhere in Minnesota, only through the casino though. The rationale is to get people acquainted with how to do sports wagering, but also, COVID has really been very difficult on the hospitality industry, and casinos and racetracks fall into that category, right, Shannon? So this would get a way for people to come into through the doors of the casinos and through the doors of the racetracks. And I have to say that Minnesota also hosts a lot of sporting events, whether it's a Super Bowl, NCAA tournaments, big sporting events, and we're slated to maybe get another Super Bowl, or maybe we'll get an NFL draft, which I hope. But regardless, this legalized sports wagering would also help the local economy, but it would also help that experience of participating in that event.
Okay, well, Minnesota has been high on restrictions and slow on changes to those so-called sinful behaviors having to do with alcohol or marijuana or gambling. And all of these things are addictive, you know, if not done in moderation. Is there a concern about increased gambling addiction?
Well, one, it's already happening now. People are already doing this. And so where there's, this puts 0.5% of the revenue into problem gaming. And we already do dedicate some money through it, but this would put a lot more money into problem gambling. Addicted gambling or different programs that would help break that. Also in the bill is if you can choose to put yourself on a list that you are not allowed to participate in this, and the casinos nor the racetrack would be able to allow you to participate in it. So if you already know, like, you might be susceptible to it or you have in the past, you're able to put yourself on the list and they're not allowed to let you participate in it.
One group that has objected to this legislation in the past has been the Minnesota Indian Gaming Association. Minnesota tribes own and operate 19 casinos. As I understand the legislation, though, you're basically centering all of this sports betting around the casinos. So are they becoming more amenable to this idea?
Well, I haven't had any direct conversations with the Minnesota Indian Gaming Association. I have read some of the comments generally about sports betting and expansion and gambling, and that what you've said is consistent and accurate on that. But what I would say is this is a different bill. This bill I wrote, it's a labor of love, as I say. It took about 6 months of research, working with our Senate council here at the Minnesota Senate, and talking to different people, reading just different websites and just really getting a lot of information. And this bill was written to keep people at the table and keep these discussions going. I firmly believe that the market is going to drive this to pass. I think the public wants it. And I think that anytime on social media that I tweet out about this, it's shocking at how much attention the tweet gets. And I know that my good friend, Representative Pat Garofalo, has been dealing with this issue for years, and I'm proud that he's partnering with me on this because I really think the time is right. I do believe this will get done this year or next, if I may be so bold to predict that.
Yeah, so I have to interject because it's funny. What are the odds that it's going to happen this session?
I think it'll be this session or next. I think it just depends on that end of session, kerfuffle with leadership. I do believe we have the votes in the rank and file to pass this. It's bipartisan in both the House and the Senate. And so, I do believe that we will get it across the finish line this year or next. That's my prediction. And I do, think that sports wagering in a controlled, conduct in transparent manner is different than what we're doing now. And I think of it as like the Wayfair tax, and that's the tax that taxed online purchases. Minnesota just came on in the last few years with that. So we know there's revenue out there. Let's grab it. If we make $1 or $2, that's great. But that's not why you legalize sports betting. It's not why you legalize marijuana or fireworks, all of which I support anyway. But you don't do this to manage your budget. You do this to stop criminalizing it and to have a good consumer experience for people.
Senator Karla Bigham, I look forward to seeing what happens, and I want to thank you for your time.
Thank you, Shannon.